Hi, welcome back. I'm Chuck, and today I'm going to show you how you can make this 3D cutout of your state with or without vinyl lettering on it. I got this 3-pack of different size stencils of Oklahoma on Etsy, and I'm going to use one of these. I did a regular cutout of the state of Oklahoma, but this time I just wanted to do it a little bit different and add some three-dimensional characteristics to it. In my shop tour video, I talked about this pile of scrap wood and leftover cutoffs that I really don't have room for, so I'm going to go ahead and use some of that for this project. These should work. First, I'm going to rip some of these down at the table saw, and I'll cut them to rough length with a crosscut sled. Some of these boards were in panels, so they were glued together already, edge to edge, and they've also been painted. So I'm going to run them through the planer and clean them up a little bit. I don't currently have a planer, so I'm going to go to my buddy's shop and borrow his. Let's take a ride. The purpose of a planer is to achieve consistent thickness throughout a board or set of boards. This helps when you're gluing up a panel of boards end to end so that you have them the same thickness. In this case, I'm also doing it because these were a panel that was glued, and it'll take some of the glue off as well. This board is going to be for the back. We're going to go ahead and throw a coat of paint on it. You're only going to see the center portion of this, so the edges don't really matter. Alright, so while this dries, we'll go ahead and rip down the other boards to their final length on the table saw. I want to make sure it's in the center. Now we have our lines to cut out. We can take them and individually cut them out on the bandsaw. Next step is to clean up all the inside edges with a sanding block. Take off the sharp corner as well. So that's finished. Now we're ready to glue this up. So to glue this together, I'm going to glue it together top to bottom, but I'm also going to glue it together front to back. And I'm going to use cull boards. What these are boards that you're going to clamp together, like from the front to the back, to keep it from bowing. Since this is missing a substantial portion of the center, it would have more of a tendency to bow. So I'll clamp these boards together as I clamp it top to bottom, and that'll keep it from bowing. So to keep the glue squeeze out from attaching the project to the cull boards, you cover these in packing tape, and that keeps it from adhering to the board. While the glue dries on the glue up, I'm going to go ahead and put another coat of paint on the backboard. let's go ahead and take these clamps off here. So the glue's still a little bit wet, so I'm going to lay it on these caulk boards because I don't want it to stick to the table. I'm going to go ahead and take a scraper and scrape off some of this glue squeeze out to keep me from having to sand it all later. Save a little bit of time. I'm going to go ahead and sand down the top. Go over the back real quick too. For the stain, I am using Varathane Weathered Gray. And we are just going to apply that with a rag. While we're waiting for everything to dry, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for notifications so you're notified whenever I put a new video out. Thanks. After drying overnight, both the paint and the stain are dry. So what we're going to do next is we're going to glue and brad nail the top piece to the bottom piece. And I don't want any glue squeeze out on the red and the center, so I'm going to be a little bit careful in how close I get the glue to the center. I do want it, however, on the edges because I don't want any gaps to show when these pieces are glued together. I'm going to carefully drop down the gray onto the red piece, and these pieces aren't exactly lined up on all four corners, but I do have a clean top on both of them, so I am going to align the tops and the right side to get them squared up on two of the four sides. Then we'll trim the other two edges with the table saw. The brads are just to basically keep it in place while the glue dries, so I don't have to clamp it. Now it's been sitting for about 30 minutes with the glue and brad nails in place. I'm going to go ahead and trim up the edges at the table saw. The edge that I lined up with the top and the bottom, I'm going to put against the fence, and then just enough to trim off the edges flush at the other side, which is about the width of the blade kerf. I'll do the same thing with the ends. Now that I got the ends cleaned up, I need to put some stain on all the sides. And go ahead and wipe off the excess. The next step is to apply the vinyl stickers. This is obviously optional, but I'm going to set a speed square against the side so I can tell if it's level, and also to know how far that I have it from the edge because I know where it is centered. Press that down with a card. So I've gone back and forth on how I'm going to finish this. I don't like the idea of using a liquid or a brushed on finish with the recessed portion because I'm afraid it'll pull up in the corners. However, a spray finish is just not really thick enough to make me comfortable with going over the letters. So I'm going to try using water-based polyacrylic, and we'll see how that works. I'm just going to be careful as to how thick I put it on in the center. Or, I don't know, maybe I will just not finish the center, or maybe I'll do this on the outside and put a spray on the center. That's the thing, you can do whatever you want. We're all learning here. So I got some down inside there, so I guess I'm just going to go ahead and brush on the red, and we'll see how it turns out. I can always make another one. This is all trial and error. So I ended up finishing it with 2 coats of Minwax polyacrylic. I'm happy with how it turned out. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll make another one. Maybe I'll do it different next time. So that's it for this one. Go ahead and hit subscribe up here, and there's another video to check out right over here.
Hit the notification bell.